I'm so grateful that I decided to build a personal online brand because my personal brand over the years has evolved and it has allowed me to not be placed in a box. It has allowed me to do lots of different things, work with different people, generate revenue in lots of different ways. And so today I want to have a conversation with you, teaching you how to get started building an online brand so that if you want to building like let people know who you are online, sell whatever it is you're selling that involves you, that you can know how to get started. So, welcome back to the Keenya Kelly podcast. This is where we talk about all things business, marketing your business, making money online, and sometimes we talk about therapy and dating because your girl is doing it all. Today, we are having a conversation about building an online brand, like person building an online brand, because sometimes we don't really have a physical product or we don't want to start a business with a physical product, but we want to be the actual product. And so for me and my business, I am the product. And so today I wanted to give you some of my tips that I feel like that you should do if you're going to get started building an online brand, or if you already have and you're trying to kind of figure out some things and make it a whole lot better. I've got a bunch of different tips that I'm going to share with you. I've actually got my notes over here. I think I have about 7 different tips that I want to share with you today on what you need to do in order to start building an online brand. So many of us have followed different people online, like, actors and actresses, movie stars. It could be, people like Beyonce or Rihanna or Lady Gaga or whomever. And these are musicians and they have online brands. And one of the benefits of an online brand is it's a person, and that person is there's a lot of different things that go along with a person, right? So, like right now, if you're watching on a YouTube, you can see my face. I have on lipstick. I have on makeup. You also know that I probably washed my face today. I have on skincare products. You see my hair. I probably put some products in my hair. You can see that I'm wearing jewelry. I'm wearing a necklace. I'm also wearing a dress. I'm also wearing undergarments. And there's so many other things that go along with me. Like I'm wearing deodorant, okay? But not only that, you can see I have a mic, I have a light, I have a recording device. There's all these things that are going on when it comes to me. Now, if I had a physical product like this tripod stand, well, this tripod stand can only be sold as the tripod stand. But Keenya can launch a line of tripod stands. Keenya can launch a line of lipstick. I can launch a line of earrings or whatever, and it lets me do a few different things as a result of having a personal brand. So I love having a personal brand. Now, there are some drawbacks to having a personal brand. That means you got to show up, okay? That means that people love it. Then oftentimes they will either love the product or hate the product, and sometimes they will hate you or love you, whatever it is. So there can be some pluses and minuses with that. And if one day you want to sell the business, then you may have some trouble because the brand is built on you. And so it's just something to consider when you're building a personal brand. We're not going to get into all that today, but we are going to get into what I think you should do or how to get started building an online brand. Okay. So I have my little notes here. So if you see me looking over to the side, YouTube, then you know why. One of the first things that you want to consider when building an online brand is you want to ask yourself, what's your name? Okay. Now, granted, you know what your name is, but that doesn't necessarily mean that needs to be the name of your brand. You get to choose what your name is. Did you know that John Legend's name is not John Legend? And that, Lady Gaga's name is not Lady Gaga? And that Jamie Foxx's name is not Jamie Foxx. My name isn't even Keenya Kelly. Okay. My name is Keenya Kelly Griffin. Okay. Oftentimes when people see my personal Facebook page or they see me sign documents, they think I've been hiding a husband. And I'm like, Griffin is my actual last name. Kelly is my middle name. Okay. So I made the decision a few years ago what I wanted to be called. So for you, you get to decide, like, what do you want people to call you? Like, you can choose whatever that is. Okay. There's no one that can dictate what you are going to be called. Okay. So, one of the things I always tell my single ladies who want to be married, that want to take their future husband's last name, is I tell them, don't brand yourself with your last name. Because if you're going to give up your last name once you get married, now you got to rebrand and all that stuff. So, me, that's why I chose Keenya Kelly, because I knew one day I wanted to be married. I knew that I wanted to take my husband's last name, but I'm like, I don't know when he will come along. So I wanted to build what I wanted to build without having to worry about him or his future name or whatever that is. Okay. So, one of the first things you want to decide is, what is it that you want to be called? Okay. The second thing you want to ask yourself is, like, what type of colors do you want to represent this brand? Now, you can't just go with, oh, these are my favorite colors. No, it's important to understand that when you're building an online brand, it doesn't just represent you because those are the colors you want to be, but because there's a psychology in colors. Okay. So typically when you see certain colors, you experience different things. Okay. And so when you are identifying your name and the colors of your brand, you've got to be thinking about your ideal customer. When they come and experience you and they experience the brand, what exactly is it that they are experiencing? How are they feeling when they come upon you, the colors and all that? That's not the hugest deal, but they are going to encounter colors in your brand, right? So we all know that the color pink usually speaks to women, usually speaks to girls, usually, right? The color brown usually speaks to men, okay? The color red is usually powerful, strong. The color black is usually dominating, but it's also like luxury, all right? White is typically pure. If you think about therapy, the colors of therapy are usually very muted. They may be purple and blue and yellow, but a very dull version of those colors to make people feel safe. A lot of times the color of a bank will be blue because they want you to feel safe. Okay. So when you are choosing the colors that are going to represent you and going to represent your brand, it's really important for you to ask this question of, like, what do I want people to experience with me? So literally you can go to Google and you can type in psychology of color. Like right now, I'm going to go ahead and go to Google since we're here, and I'm going to type in psychology of color, and I'm going to tell you what some of the things that Google says about color. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the wheel, and that way it's going to tell me what are some of the psychologies of color. Okay. So it says here that gray represents purity, balance, practical, timeless, and neutral. Black is credible, sleek, expensive, luxury, authority. Purple, mysterious, royal, imaginative, wise, creative. Green is peaceful, health, safe, positive, money. Orange is warmth, friendly, caution, confidence, impulse. Red is bold, excitement, passionate, urgent, and powerful. Blue is trust, dependability, strength, productivity, professional. Two more. Pink is love, respect, calm, romance, care, and feminine. And yellow is optimism, clarity, attention, cheerful, and happiness. Okay. So that's not to say that, your brand has to represent exactly what those colors say. But when you are choosing your colors, you've got to be considerate of that, because when people experience you and experience your colors, they're having this experience, right? So it's like the colors go into their eyes and into their brain and also into their hearts. And so they're having an experience as they're encountering your colors. Okay. So it's just really important to understand that when you are going through your whole process of choosing colors for your brand. The third thing is I want you to consider is, what do you want to be known for? Okay. What do you want to be known for? Now, it's important to know that could change, right? So like this year you could be known as this and next year something else. And guess what? That is perfectly okay. If you go down this road and you realize, nope, that's not it. As a person, the great thing is that you can evolve. That's the difference between having a product-based business or a product brand versus a personal brand, is that once you know Maybelline, you're like, Maybelline, maybe it's Maybelline, it's the makeup, right? But you as a person, you're constantly growing, you're constantly evolving, and there's more permission to evolve as a personal brand. So ask yourself the question of, what do you want to be known for? Meaning that, when you leave a room and people say, you know, that girl Keenya, what do you want them to say about you in terms of what it is that you do, right? So if somebody's on social media and they're posting about, I'm looking for somebody that does X, Y, and Z, what do you want to be known for to where everybody is tagging you? That's the key. Why is everybody tagging you? Okay. And that goes into what it is that you offer. Okay. So, what do you want to be known for? And then the next thing is, who do you want to serve? Okay. Who do you want to serve? Because you already have an idea of what you want to offer, which is my next question. And so, if you know what you want to offer, who do you want to serve? Because the truth is, you don't want to serve everybody. You just don't. You think you do, especially if you are first getting started. But once you start really encountering people, you're going to start to identify who you do not want to serve. You know, it's like, I teach women how to use video marketing to grow online businesses. And I don't want to work with all women. I love all women. Loving people and working with them are two totally different things. I don't want to work with all women. I want to work with women who want to build online businesses, who are willing to get on video, who are willing to try new things. I don't want to work with women that are just not comfortable getting behind the camera. I want to love those people. I want to support those people, but I don't want to work with those people. And the reason is because it is hard as a consultant when a person does not want to get behind the camera. It is hard for that, okay? And so I will take those women, but will I go after them specifically? No, I will not, because I want my women ready. I want them saying, okay, tell me what to do, Keenya. And that's what I'll do, because my experience has told me that women who are ready to go have the most success because I can just push them along, right? Whereas the women who do not want to get on camera, I have to pull them for a while and eventually I can push them, which is hard on me to try to pull somebody while I'm trying to push everybody else and then pushing my own self, okay? So for you, I want you to ask yourself the question, who do you want to serve? Talk about them, her, him, them. Talk about them in detail. What do they do for work? You know, how much money do they make? You know, what is their, are they single? Are they married? Are they both? Do they have kids or no kids? You know, what's their personality like? What are some of the things that make them tick, right? What are some of their strengths? What's some of their weaknesses? Where do they shop? Where do they thrive the most? Where do they thrive the least, right? Because the more you know about the people that you want to serve, when it comes time to you actually creating and reaching those people, it becomes a lot easier. Okay. The next thing you want to ask yourself is, let me see here. How do you want to help your people? Okay. So I asked you who. So then what do you want to offer? How do you want to help them? Okay. So I help people with video marketing strategies to sell their products and services. With the people that you want to serve, what do you want to offer and how are you going to help them? Okay, you have to ask yourself those questions. That doesn't mean that what you come up with today, that is all, but you've got to start somewhere, because when you start building an online brand, you're building that brand around something. It can't just be you who likes to watch TikTok videos or you who likes to grocery shop or whatever, right? It has to be, this is your intent and who you're trying to serve. Now, if you're trying to be a content creator, an influencer, then you're trying to serve the masses who want to learn and grow and evolve with an influencer, and you're trying to serve brands. You're trying to get brands to see you, to connect with you, to want to do business with you, to invest in you, to create content for them. Okay, so whether you're selling something or with as you, and you're selling something, or it's you and you are the product as an influencer, you're still trying to influence people to consume and trust and act on the things you're promoting. But also it's the brands that you got to please. Okay, all of that is part of the game when you're building an online brand. Okay, and then the next to the last thing I want you to ask yourself is, where are you going to build first? Okay, where are you going to build first? Because there are so many social media platforms, period. There are so many social media platforms out there, and they're amazing, but you are just getting started. You cannot be everywhere right now. It is too much work. Okay. I've had so many of my students say they feel overwhelmed trying to post on all the platforms. And I say, stop posting on all the platforms. I say, focus on one. I say, I know you want to be everywhere. I know you feel like you have to be everywhere, but doing that, feeling that, being that is overwhelming you. So stop doing that, right? I also like to explain to them that when I first got started, I was just on Periscope. And then I was on Facebook. And then I was on Instagram. And that was it for the longest time. Eventually, I got on TikTok. And much longer after that, I got on YouTube, right? We're still not consistent on LinkedIn, and we're not doing much of anything on Pinterest, definitely nothing on Snapchat right now. We're doing a little bit on Threads and nothing on Twitter. Why? We don't have the capacity for it. And guess what? That's okay. And so instead of me trying to be everywhere when I first got started, I was consistent with one place. And so for you, if you are planning on growing on YouTube, you've got to focus on YouTube. If you want to grow on TikTok, you got to focus there. Want to grow on Instagram, you got to focus there. You can't do them all at one time, especially when you're just getting started. I know you feel like you have to, but listen, if you can't do one well, you're not going to do four well. That's just the way that it goes. You have to get consistent at what it is that you do consistently, and then you can add more. Okay. So I want you to choose one platform that you're going to choose to invest your time and energy into for an extended period of time. And then as you evolve, then you can add a next one. Okay. So the last question I have for you is that what is going to be your main way of building? Okay. What is going to be your main way of building this online brand? Now, when I say that, what I mean is that what are you planning on doing? Do you plan on doing like a day in the life of yourself a lot of times? Do you plan on using different trends? Are you going to be an expert where you're teaching and leading a group of people? What is going to be your main way of building? One of the things that I realized is that the people that consistently create content in a certain way, people get used to that is how that person shows up, and that's what they expect from that person, and then they start to follow them based on that type of content. Okay, I know there's a girl named Christy Sarah. She's just funny. There's all these funny things all the time, and we follow her for that reason. Okay, her husband, like a million of us followed him in a matter of like 2 weeks because we like his cooking content. Okay, and so for me, people are following me on social media because I'm teaching them how to use social media, make money online. That is why they're choosing to follow me. My second account on TikTok, it's just me just talking. I want to talk about my life. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And I just want them to follow me and my journey, right? So like a day in a life behind the scenes of Keenya, what Keenya is doing, because I just want to create that way with me. I don't want to be boxed in with that particular account, right? So the other one, I'm boxed in with social media, video marketing, and money-making strategies, whereas the other one is just me as a person, right? It's the me that wants to work with a jewelry brand, makeup brand, skincare brand, all the different things, right? And so I'm choosing that account is a free account where I can just be me, create, yada, yada, yada. And my other account is where I am teaching people how to build online businesses using social media. So you have to choose, how are you going to build a personal brand? Now, again, that can evolve. That doesn't mean you have to be just that forever. No, that means for a period of time, this is what you're going to do. Okay? For a period of time, this is what you're going to do. That is going to help you to stay focused. It's also going to help you reach your people group and grow a whole lot faster. And then when brands come along, if you want to work with brands, that's going to help them know who you are, what you do on a consistent basis, that they know that is who your audience is there for, right? It's like, the other day I went to Wingstop and I was telling everybody about my trip to Wingstop, and one girl said, "Oh my God, I've been influenced," right? I did a haul from Fashion Nova, got a bunch of jeans, and I put the jeans on. They said, "Oh my God, now I want some jeans," right? But that's just me sharing my life. If a brand comes along and says, "Hey, work with us," great, right? But right now, I literally went to Wingstop. I literally bought jeans, and I'm just choosing to share my life in an effort to be an influencer in that way, as Keenya Kelly just sharing her life, okay? So if you have any questions about this, I would love to know. You're here on the YouTube channel. You can always ask me in the comment section. I get all the notifications anytime somebody comments on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and like this video. If you're listening to the podcast, you can come on YouTube and you can watch this as well. So thank you guys so much for listening and watching.